Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Robin. I'm also known as Sunny Side Up Gal, and you are my Sunny Side Up pal. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you aren't already, please subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Today, it is currently 5:13 in the AM. I'm in my jammies still. I put stuff on my face to kind of like be camera ready. Not really though. I have this weird thing that I started doing where I stopped washing my face in the morning so that I don't wash away the night creams that I put on my face. And this morning, mommy is pretty dewy. I don't know if you can even see that, but I like the way it feels because my skin is dry so much. My skin's dry like 95% of the time. So anytime I have any kind of moisture, I'm just like, oh, yes, I like it. But today's episode, we are going to be talking about one of my largest pet peeves, and that is skinny people say the craziest shit, or people who have never been fat.
Fat people experience oppression for being fat in a way that thin people do not experience oppression for being thin. And it is agony to live with that oppression.
Skinny people or people who have never been fat, who are anti-diet, anti-weight loss, and they are fat activists or HAES or health at every size activists. And this gal today is a non-diet dietitian. A non-diet dietitian? Weird. I don't like that. I don't know why. I do. I feel, because I've been overweight most of my life, I feel like HAES and fat activism is was like this trend, and I see it in this gal that I'm about to show you. She kind of like jumped on this train. In my opinion, I dove I dove all the way back to the beginning of her page, but it bothers me when people who have never struggled with weight loss like make others feel bad for wanting to lose weight or lie and say that like
there's nothing wrong with being overweight.
I get if you're like going off of the BMI. We all know that the BMI can be flawed. It's a good tool to kind of gauge, where you are. If your BMI tells you that you're morbidly obese and you obviously look morbidly obese, you are morbidly obese, right?
You are fat. We already know that.
But obviously there are people who are like weightlifters who the BMI says are obese, but they're not. So that's a completely other thing. Yeah, I just don't like it. And so we're going to just talk trash. Okay, so this gal, her name is Abbey Roberts. She is a non-diet dietitian. And she has about 139,000 followers. She's one of the largest pages that I've ranted on. And so here's her page. So she is semi-political when it comes to her message about like health and body positivity. She's also, a trender. Like she jumps onto like these trends and then she spouts out like anti-diet stuff. So she did something on that. We'll watch that in a second. So what led me to her is I was obviously scrolling on Instagram and I saw this post. And I was like, I think I'm going to do a video on her because, first of all, I didn't like her attitude. That's her, I guess. I didn't really like her attitude. And I liked the creator that she is talking about in this video. And I feel like, for some reason, her messaging doesn't feel sincere to me because she's never been overweight. Does that make sense? Am I just being spicy? Am I just being like gel? Am I being jelly? I don't know. But let's watch what she says. Okay, so if you are just listening, there is a video. I forgot what this creator's name was. She is like a fashion designer, so she makes like clothing for curvy women. So in this video, in this picture, it's Abby says weight loss is fat phobic. There's a picture of the clothing designer. Weight loss is fat phobic and harmful to the fat community, and it says 280 pounds. So she's 280 pounds in this picture. She doesn't really look 285 pounds. I wonder if she's tall. In my opinion, she doesn't look 285 pounds. So weird how bodies can just be different and carry weight differently. Then Abby is cringing and it says 175 pounds. You don't understand because you're not me. And the girl has lost a significant amount of weight, over 100 pounds, and she looks happier. She looked happy in the first picture. Let's see what Abby has to say.
Who's ever said that weight loss is fat phobic?
People have said that weight loss is fat phobic. People have said that weight loss is fat phobic. Do not lie, Abby. People say that.
But having a superiority complex because you're existing in a smaller body now is very fat phobic. You have body autonomy. You can do what you want with your own body. I scroll through your videos, the majority of them are about your weight loss. Your attitude towards fat people now that you lost weight is super uncool and harmful. No one's faulting you because you lost weight. It's always been the underlying message.
So the girl that she's commenting on, I'm kind of upset that she's not mentioning who that is. Ugh, and I can't even remember her name. But her page was not the majority of her page is not weight loss. It was like clothing.
Okay, so this is Alex's page. She mostly did for a while like clothing stuff. So she does like mid-sized fashion. Even when she was larger, she was doing like curvy size fashion. I think she's a sewist or a designer. She makes clothes basically. And then she started losing weight. And then now she is a fitness, wellness, and mid-size style influencer. But I don't think her main focus is bashing on being overweight or like just talking about her weight loss. Like you can clearly see that she's showing off her style. And I think she just made a pregnancy announcement. POV, the agonizing wait between a positive pregnancy test. And, oh, yeah, she's preggo. So
anyway, so this is what introduced me to Abby. That other girl, she's celebrating her body. She's celebrating, finding health, in my opinion. But some people don't think that that's very healthy. All right, so now we're gonna go back to like I went all the way back to Abby's page because I was like, what? When did she start doing HAES? Because there's no way that this very thin, beautiful woman was born out of the womb being fat positive and health at every size, right?
Right.
Something had to click. Something made her do this. What is my opinion? What is my hypothesis? I think she did it for views. I think she did it because it was what was in after. I was gonna say what was in after 9/11.
Something else just hit a very large plane directly over my building and there's been another collision. This is horrific. Absolutely horrific.
What was in after
COVID?
I think she was looking for a following and she found it. Okay, so I went all the way back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning. So I'm going to mute it so I can talk. So she started off, this is from 285 weeks ago. So what is that? A long time ago, a few years ago. So she started doing like morning exercise videos. So, and it doesn't really say that she there's no hashtag saying like what she's doing. Like if it's for weight loss, it's just movement, which cool, right? So she's doing this movement stuff with her. First of all, my first opinion of her when I saw her was that she looked like every single girl that I went to high school with. So first of all, she's thin, fit, and tan for a white. And so I was like, I wonder if she's from Arizona. She ended up going to, I think, ASU. She wears like Arizona State University stuff, but she works, I think, in Seattle and has licensure in Washington and Seattle and I think some other state. But so she started off doing like exercise stuff. Here she is doing more exercise stuff. And then a few weeks after that, maybe like, so it says, what was that? 267 weeks. So like a year later, she starts doing like not necessarily anti-weight loss stuff, but kind of like delving into that realm of like, hey, other body sizes exist, yada yada yada, right? So if you're just listening, this is a reel of her saying, want to know what really grinds my gears? Keto, which is my go-to, being called dietary or nutritionist, how do I lose weight quick, fat loss supplements, anyone that is not an RD giving nutrition advice. Okay, so clearly she's got her license or her degree and registered as a registered dietitian, and it's a superiority thing. So like I've noticed that all of these people who have these licensures are they have a superiority complex, which I get it. You went to school, you paid your money, yada yada yada, right? But I think giving dietary advice, if you're on the internet, first of all, if you use advice from somebody on the internet, like that's at your own risk, right? We all know that. We're all adults here. I'm pretty sure everybody watching this is an adult. I hope you are. I really don't think that there's anything wrong with somebody giving nutritional advice online. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't think that that's wrong. Do you think that's wrong? Let me know in the comments. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that because as a community, if I see you, my friend, right? If we're calling each other friends, if I see you, my friend, I'm like, yo, I'm having such a hard time losing weight. What are you doing? What did you do to lose weight? And you did something like that was not, harmful. I think it's okay for you to tell somebody what you did. Like I tell people on my Instagram all the time, like I cut out this, I cut out that. I eat a lot of fat, I don't fear fat. And that's what's helped. And people, one end of the spectrum think that that's wrong. And some people on the other end of the spectrum think that that's right. And sometimes I get both people from each spectrum that are like in agreement, but then they find out that they're in agreement and they hate each other again. So I eat a lot of fat, right? A ketogenic diet. I cut out most of my carbs. I don't eat sugar. So like, what is my next form of energy? It's going to be fat. So I eat a lot of fat. Otherwise I feel like shit. So then I get people on the keto realm who are like,
Hell yeah, fat.
and then I get fatties who are like,
Hell yeah, there's no, don't fear the fat, blah, 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 blah.
and then on one end, I get fatties who are like,
Ew, keto, like, you're just trying to lose weight, blah, 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 blah.
yes, but also it is doing wonders for my prediabetes, right? And then I get the people who have lost weight cutting out fat. They're in disagreement with me because I eat a lot of fat. So like, it's a spectrum, and everybody knows that different things work for different people. And a lot of the registered dietitians are all taught like one curriculum basically. So like, she's probably I think she is on the like healthy fats are good page. She also is like, sugar's fine, eat the cookie, yada yada yada. And I'm just like, nah, not if you're like addicted to food. I just don't think that's a good idea. But let's keep watching some of her shit. Okay, questions I get asked as a dietitian. Isn't a nutritionist the same thing? Nope, a nutritionist can literally be anyone that pays like $30. How do I lose weight fast? You don't. Slow and steady is sustainable. I agree. I get that, especially because my weight is super slow. With like Hashimoto's and PCOS, weight loss is super duper slow. But when I first started, especially like when I was over like 200 pounds, the weight loss fell off really fast. And that happens. So like if you don't know this and you're on a weight loss journey and you're like, shit, I need to lose a lot of weight, and then you hit like a plateau, like that is, to me, completely normal, because the more fat you have on your body that is unnecessary, your body's going to want to get rid of that faster, if that makes any sense. But yeah, you do lose a lot faster. You do lose weight a lot faster when you are
Gigantic.
So on my 600-pound life, Dr. Now, I think that's what his name was, he like tells people like,
You need to lose 40 pounds in a month.
it's definitely possible if you're over 500 pounds. If you're 600 pounds, you can lose 40 pounds in a month. It's very possible. Is weight loss the only thing you do? Not even close. We can be clinical, sports, community, food service, and more. So I'm wondering if she has done weight loss for some people before in the past. Follow to learn more. Okay, food talk, dietitian, Food Nutrition Magazine, diet culture dropout. She's a diet culture dropout.
Beauty school dropout.
Oh, also, I should preface that she, I believe, has struggled with ED, and she is one of those people who has struggled with that in the past and who is kind of doing like an overcorrection without being fat. Does that make sense? So like, she's struggled with this disorder in the past, and now she's like,
no, nobody, don't ever lose weight. We're not gonna cut out food groups. We're not gonna resist or restrict anything. Restriction, bad.
Like, I think that's an overcorrection to me. Okay. So this is like a week after that. You shouldn't be eating bread. She's doing this thing where she's against like cutting out food groups, right? She's against cutting out any food. So she said you shouldn't cut out bread. Sure, if it has mold. Dairy is so bad for you. If you're lactose intolerant, sure. Oh my gosh, don't eat eggs. If you're allergic. So I used to be one of these people where I'm like, you shouldn't have to cut out any kind of like dairy or eggs, right? It's unnecessary. Eggs are like a magic pill for food, blah, 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 blah. Eggs. I personally believe that eggs are like a magic food, that they contain so much nutrients and vitamins and minerals for our body. However, there are some studies that it can be inflammatory for certain people. So like, if you feel better cutting out eggs and you're not allergic, good for you. And then as for dairy, if you're not allergic to dairy and you feel better cutting out dairy, perfect. Do it. Cut out dairy, test it, right? Test it for yourself. I cut out dairy and I feel a lot better. But when I do have dairy, I'm a very happy girl. But I have shit problems after. I can't poop because of my Hashimoto's. But yeah, that's another thing too. Within the PCOS and Hashimoto's like realm, first of all, a lot of people with PCOS tend to have Hashimoto's and vice versa. I don't know if it's like a fat thing or a girl thing, girly things or what. But they kind of, a lot of women with Hashimoto's tend to have PCOS, right? So I am one of those Hashimoto's gals who's cut out dairy and carbohydrates, and like the amount of Hashimoto's and PCOS influencers out there who are like absolutely against cutting out carbohydrates or cutting out any kind of food, and they tend to be like at a healthy body weight. These disorders are so like per person that I think getting onto Instagram and telling people like,
no, you don't have to cut out this food, blah, 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 blah,
is irresponsible, because it's good advice, you know, to try. At least try it for yourself, and then you can, you know, it's a big taboo in the PCOS and Hashimoto's realm to tell people to cut out dairy and eggs, but I do it, except for eggs. I cut out dairy and carbs. Okay, this is her introducing herself. She's here to tell us, I know diet culture can make food feel scary. You know you deserve to eat and fill your fullness without fear. And you deserve food freedom, regardless of body size. Okay, so she's getting even more. So this is 172 weeks ago. So it's getting closer to now. She's getting even more like, and this is, I believe, after COVID. Yeah. More into like reaching for the fats, right?
I love a fat bitch.
Stop restricting food. This is what she says. Are you always fighting off cravings? Stop restricting foods.
I'm Abby, a registered dietitian. Follow me to learn more.
So then the caption says, when we stop restricting, our cravings lessen. Why? Because we're allowing ourselves to eat the foods we enjoy so that we are full and satisfied. Listen, for some, sure. Some people, there are two different types of people, maybe three, but there are restrictors, like abstainers, and there are moderators. And there are some people who can moderate. Every once in a while, they will have a thing, right? They'll eat completely fine at night. They'll have a little sweet treat, right? That is off plan. Or every weekend they have a cheat day. So the abstainers, they cannot. They have to restrict food because they're either addicted to food, or I think that's basically it, addicted to food like me, right? So every once in a while I will have like an off day, but it quite often turns into like an entire cheat weekend, and I end up feeling like shit. I have to completely plan my cheat days, my off meal days. Like I had to reconstruct my life around food because I was addicted to food for so long. So I don't know. I don't agree with her here. I also want to say that when you do stop eating the foods, this seems so backwards to me, because when I stopped having like cookies every fucking night, I stopped craving a cookie every night. Does that make sense? It's just like a drug. Like when you stop doing Coke every weekend, you don't miss doing Coke every weekend. Now, the only addiction that I was just talking to my husband this morning about that, the only addiction that I still like think about quite often is smoking cigarettes. And I smoked cigarettes since I was like 15, and I quit 5 years ago around COVID. Yeah, we quit because we were like, smokers and COVID, it's a bad mix. But yeah, we quit smoking like during COVID, and I'm gonna be 35 next year. So I smoked for like 15 years straight, chain smoked, and I still miss a cigarette. If somebody gave me a cigarette right now, I'd be like, nah, like I'll feel like shit. But when I turn 75, if I've made it that late,
You best believe I will be chain smoking.
but yeah, I think that restricting is okay. I'm team restrict. I'm team stop giving yourself everything you fucking want, because eventually the cravings go away. Okay.
Things really sensitively, and that's fine.
No,
I just need to not make
So her caption says, diet culture gaslighting us into thinking our body is the problem.
those jokes with you. No, I don't think I think they're just like rude. But to me, it's a joke. To you, it's rude. So I won't make them to you because you don't take it the way.
Unrealistic body standards and unsustainable diets are the problem, not your body. Again, she's reaching for the fats with this, and I think she's trying to get customers.
Hey guys.
Okay, this is her introducing herself. Let me read the caption first. Tired of feeling guilty and shameful around food? I'm here to tell you it's possible to live in food freedom. Your body's wants and needs change daily or even hour to hour. Sometimes a burger is what will satisfy/feel good. Other times it's veggies. All food fits means that the moralization and demonization out of food means we take the moralization and demonization, whatever. Nothing is good or bad. You can't go off the plan with food freedom because you understand that you deserve to eat what you want when you want. Okay, yes, if you are in a healthy body size, but if you're not, and like it is important and imperative for you to lose weight, it's okay. It's okay to have off-limit foods, in my opinion.
That's my opinion!
That's my opinion.
Guys, I'm Abby. I'm a registered dietitian, and here's what we mean when we say that all foods fit. The common, like, immediate reaction when this is said is, so what you're saying is I can just eat hamburgers and ice cream all day, every day, for every single meal? And I get it. We've been told all of our lives that we have to avoid certain foods. Certain foods are bad. But in reality, there's only 2 important questions we need to ask ourselves. 1, is this food going to satisfy me? Is it what I'm craving? And 2,
I hate when people say just give in to your cravings. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. Here's what I do when I have cravings. If I am absolutely at my wit's end and I'm like,
Bitch, I need it.
and if I don't get it, I'm gonna
burn this house down.
right? If I do that, I just make something that I can have. Like, I make it in a keto way. So if I want fucking cookies and I go and get myself some chocolate chip cookies that are from Lily's, which are stevia made, no sugar, and then I make almond cookies with it. Right? That's lower carb, and I'm hitting, I'm feeding a craving monster. I just hate when people are like, "I'm so sorry, I was craving it." So then make it. It's better for you to make it at home anyway. You don't know what all this shit that's in this like pre-made stuff. You don't know anything. Okay?
2, does this food feel good in my body? So if I was to ask this person, does eating hamburgers and ice cream all day, every day feel good within your body? No, I mean, I really feel like sluggish.
But people will lie to themselves. People will lie to you. People will lie to your food. People will lie to your face and say, "Yeah, I feel great when I eat like shit all the time." They feel great in here, in their heart, but your heart is clogged with sugar. It's okay to restrict. I'm okay with that. And I'm not saying restrict like don't eat anything ever.
Don't be a dumbass.
I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to tell you to like be anorexic.
Survival is vital.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are foods out there that, especially like fast food, right? There are so many inflammatory items inside and ingredients in our food right now, especially if you live in the United States. There's so much bullshit in the food these days that it is way better and healthier for you to make shit at home. The other thing too, when you have a craving and you decide, "Ugh, I really need this or I'm going to burn the house down," and you go and you make it, even if you make it like, if you're not following my plan, like a keto, right? If you go and you make it like the traditional way with sugar and flour and all that jazz, by the time you're done with these cookies, your cravings are probably not going to be that bad. You can sit with your craving and it'll eventually like chill a little bit. By the time you're finished making these cookies, you're not going to eat the entire package. Whereas if you have the craving and you go and you get your Chips Ahoy, you're probably, if you're like me, going to eat that entire sleeve or entire box in a sitting because you're fat. Okay, I'm fat phobic and I don't understand that health is a social construct. Health is not a social construct. That is so stupid. Or that size doesn't determine health. Oh my god, when people say health is a social construct, I'm just like, you are so fucking stupid. I can't stand it. Sorry for mixing this. This is my turmeric tea. The only thing that sucks about drinking this in the morning is that sometimes it makes my teeth yellow. I've been trying to do whitening strips, but I don't really give a shit. You don't care. Do you? I'm in my fucking jammies right now.
Speak up.
You look great now that you've lost weight. Oh, I read you the last part, sorry.
About to cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up. When I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna speak
Do you really want to eat that?
up. When I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna
Because basically it's like somebody saying like backhanded compliments. You look great. You look like you've lost weight. Are you gonna eat that? Blah 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 blah. And then she's just saying that that's all fat phobic and that's stupid. Okay, weight loss research shows there's no evidence that efforts to prevent or reverse weight gain is successful. That is so fucking stupid. There's no research shows that there's no evidence that efforts to prevent or reverse weight gain is successful. You can like look at somebody who's fasted for like 4 weeks, intermittently, and they've lost weight. Like, I just don't understand that. What do you mean? Which research? Show me the research. I want to see who's paying this person to research you. Because that's what, if you guys are looking at research pages or journals, you have to look at the very, very bottom and be like, and find out who's funding these research journals. So like sometimes you'll see like, this is just an example. I'm not sure if I can even find the journal, but like sometimes you can find something like, oh, such and such has shown like if you eat this, it'll help with your heart health. And then you go down to the bottom and you find that the American Heart Association has like helped fund this research. Like, I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. And we've been let down before. As you guys may already know, back in I think the 60s, Harvard was paid by Big Sugar. This is a very, very rough, explanation. But like back in the 60s, Harvard was paid by Big Sugar to do research on fat and cholesterol. and and then like villainize fat, right? So the whole reason why America ever entered the low fat craze was because of this journal. Well, I don't know. And the entire study was like they paid Harvard students to like say that fat causes bad like heart disease, right? And then the crazy thing is that in some, I don't know if it was this Harvard study, but in some of the studies for cholesterol, they tested on rabbits, which we're not rabbits, and rabbits are herbivores. They fed rabbits like pure egg yolk. When in the fucking wild is a rabbit going to eat an egg yolk? Like, you probably had to force feed that poor rabbit, and of course they got heart disease because they don't have the fucking enzymes in their stomach to like disperse these fatty acids. Like, I'm just so confused. I'm literally just a person who just a normal person who doesn't do research, and I can tell you that that study sounds stupid. Why would you feed rabbits egg yolks? Like, if you're going to use animals comparative to humans, and I'm not a person who's going to be like, I love animal testing, but if you're going to test animals, like, why not monkeys? Why not pigs, right? Omnivores and closer DNA to the United States to humans, right? Why test rabbits? That's so strange to me. There's more evidence to suggest that fad diets and weight cycling result in physical harm and weight gain. That makes sense. I agree with that. While health behavior changes are valuable, we need to work harder as a society to combat fat phobia and be more inclusive. Shame comes from standards in a culture that were not yours to begin with. Shaming an individual's or a group of people's bodies does not promote health. Health at every size principles and research show that health habits are improved when mental health and body neutrality are the focus. A smaller body does not equal healthy. I agree. I think she might be thinking like, if you're like stick real thin, that's not healthy. But like, I'm one of those people who believes that yes, there are different bodies out there. I don't think everybody's going to be the same size. Like, I don't think that everybody was meant to be the same size, depending on your genetics. Like, I'm not saying that there should be 500-pound people, but I'm not saying that everybody should be a fit like 150 pounds, 120 pounds per your height. Like, I don't think that makes sense to me. That's just me.
Let's talk about radical acceptance.
It's not radical. I don't see you burning buildings down. Stop.
And struggling with your relationship with food.
So, can you tell that her demeanor is so different here? Like, I feel like she's trying different personalities, if that makes any sense.
Hey, my name is Abby. I'm a registered dietitian. I work with eating disorders and health at every size principles. While pain is a part of life, radical acceptance allows us to keep that pain from turning into suffering. We accept the facts of reality without using negative self-talk. In other words, it is what it is. Completely and totally accepting this fact is still challenging. It's still painful, but focusing on what we
Okay, what's the radical part about it? Accepting and feeling difficult thoughts and emotions can be liberating. When we fight our thoughts, they typically become stronger and more intense. It's okay to feel your feelings. It's hard to feel your feelings if you're struggling with your own relationships with food and ready to change your thought patterns. I encourage you to meet with a dietitian. Okay, where's the radicalness? I don't see it. Sorry.
That's Teddy, and that's also Teddy. I named them all Teddy because I can't tell the difference.
Okay, so she's saying that toxic positivity and body positive culture is the same. I'm not on board with the toxic positivity. I think that if you I'm so sorry if you're one of those people, but if you were like one of those people that like, that's toxic positivity, I'm just like, we're probably not going to be friends. Like, I feel like you're too much of a downer. Like, that's down syndrome. Okay, let me scroll to the top and then kind of scroll down a little bit. Oh, okay. So let's recap. So she's started with doing some workout stuff, then like, okay, healthy eating, fine, you don't have to lose weight. And now it's like, okay, we're going to be body positive, health at every size, right? Well, body neutral. And then she gets into like trying to get some of those obese patients, some of those obese customers in. She's trying to reach that kind of community.
I'm over 200 pounds.
Okay, so this is from a little over a year ago.
People are going to tell me they feel fat. I'm over 200 pounds. People are going to praise me for eating fruit.
Not me. I'm one of those gals who is like, fruit is candy. Sorry.
I'm over 200 pounds, but people will tell me I have a pretty face. I'm over 200 pounds.
She looks cute right there, though. Just me.
But people will tell me you're not fat.
That doesn't seem very fat to me, in my opinion. I think that 200 pounds, I think that saying like, I'm over 200 pounds, I'm fat, like, but you look okay. I don't know.
You're beautiful. I'm over 200 pounds. People are going to stare at the amount of food on my plate. I'm over 200 pounds, but I know people will tell me I look skinny in this outfit.
You do.
And you do.
I'm over 200 pounds, and people call me brave for moving my body.
This is one of those moments where it's like nobody's ever done any of that to you. Maybe like in high school when people are fucking rude and idiots, but like nobody's doing that now. Not in 2025. Okay, I saved this one because I used to be a carnivore and I did snack on butter. Like every once in a while too, I'll eat a little pat of butter, you know, if I'm like running out of energy.
Anyone else's butter look like this?
This is actually my homie, Courtney Luna.
Or is it just me?
Hi, Courtney, if you're watching. You're my homie.
Where are my butter munchers at? Let me know.
Butt munchers. I used to be a butter muncher, and I'm not sorry about that. Sorry, guys. I think it's one of the healthiest forms of fat that you can eat, and it is a gift from God, and it does not clog your arteries. Sugar and inflammation clogs your arteries.
This video left me in shock. It's giving Schmidt from New Girl energy, but like he was eating a block of cheese, and that feels better to me. Is a butter muncher like a sexual innuendo? I don't like the carnivore diet. I think it's dumb. And that's coming from a registered dietitian who believes all foods fit. Because there's a reason that you need a variety of foods in your diet to survive, to live, to function, to not be constipated.
You don't get constipated on a carnivore diet, by the way. If you guys are ever interested and you want to like chat about it, message me on Instagram because I actually do think that the carnivore diet is beneficial to a lot of people, especially if you've got like IBS or Crohn's disease or, you know, shit problems like I did, because when you eat a carnivore diet, there's no clogging of the pipes. Does that make sense? Like when you eat a lot of fiber, like people say if you're constipated and you eat a lot of fiber, it's supposed to help you, but like if for some, sure, right? But for lots like me, extra fiber is terrible for me, right? When you eat an all animal-based diet, like carnivore diet, you poop less because your body breaks down the meat more. Does that make sense? There's less waste to come out of your butthole. And this whole like you need stuff to sweep out your colon, yada yada yada, your colon needs to be swept out. I think that's a myth. Right. And then as far as like your arteries, do your research. There is so much new research coming out when it comes to like high fat diets and arteries and all that jazz. Again, Harvard was paid to say that fat causes heart disease, and it doesn't. Like literally since we started the low fat craze and everybody was worried about their heart health, yada yada yada, since the 60s or whatever, heart disease has only gotten worse, and it's from inflammatory seed oils. If you don't agree, you don't agree. But it's from that. It's from eating fast food. It's from constantly eating. It's eating 6 times a day. It's eating sugar. It's pre-diabetes and inflammation. So like when you have so much sugar flowing through your veins and you pair that with fat and you have inflammation, yes, you can get heart disease. But if you are not eating carbohydrates and you're eating only meat and fat, you're not gonna. You won't have. There's studies coming out. Do your own research. We can chat about it later. I am pro carnivore diet. I'm not on the carnivore diet right now. I don't need to be. And I love me some broccolis and I love me some veg. I think it's beneficial, especially if you've got like food allergies and you need to figure out what's fucking you up. Carnivore is a great tool as an elimination diet.
Not to sound like really stupid, but is the Boston Marathon
Okay, this is going to sound like really stupid, but are all fat bodies unhealthy and should restrict to lose weight?
longer than the LA Marathon?
No, all marathons are the same length.
No, fat is not a disease. Healthy and unhealthy exist at all sizes. Health is not a moral obligation, and all restrictive eating is harmful.
Listen, I understand that health is not a moral obligation. Nobody owes anybody health. But if you are 600 pounds, you owe yourself some changes.
This is a really good example.
Non-diet dietitian stitch incoming. Your song about you being fat is weird. I weigh less than 100 pounds and struggle immensely with my weight and the way I look. My worst fear is looking like you, so you're right.
Of an inside thought.
Literally proving the point of my song. Why do we think it's okay for people to comment these types of things?
People like to be sassy.
I'm over 200 pounds. Chips and guacamole are unhealthy, but avocado.
What does she call that?
I'm over 200.
Food gentrification.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And misinformation 101.
Chips and guacamole are unhealthy, but avocado toast is. Brown rice is healthy, but white rice is not.
Okay, I don't think any of that shit is healthy. We're gonna move on. Okay, did you know this about eating disorders? Eating disorders are a serious issue that affect many people. This mental illness does not have a look, and thin white girls aren't the only ones affected. Comments like this can only very much trigger ED behaviors, and this is not something I take lightly. Things that do not make you a morally good person, being thin, eating organic, being white, exercising consistently, or having a normal BMI. Health is nuanced. Feelings and emotions are very much valid. Your lived experience matters. This is crazy. To you people,
What do you mean, you people?
feelings are more important than health. The truth hurts and feelings don't matter when 80+% of Americans are either diabetic, pre-diabetic, or suffering from another horrible long-term health condition due to all the poisonous processed foods we eat. The first mom, whether she realizes it or not, is serving essentially poison to their children.
Okay, you people, feelings are more important than health. The truth hurts and feelings don't matter. Okay, so just fuck mental health, right? Did you know that 28.8 million Americans will have an eating disorder diagnosed in their lifetime? That anorexia has the highest mortality rate of any mental illness? There's one death every 52 minutes.
I don't know if anorexia, okay, people say that anorexia has the highest mortality rate, but like I don't know if that's like skewed or not. Like I feel like if you take people who have had depression who have completed unaliving themselves, and then you take people who have ever had anorexia and have died from it, I just feel like the numbers are gonna be different. Maybe I'm wrong.
We interrupt this broadcast. Okay, I was wrong. Anorexia has a higher mortality rate than suicide because a larger percentage of people with anorexia die from its severe health effects, literal starvation, compared to the percentage of people who die from suicide attempts, even though more total deaths occur from suicide due to its wider prevalence, I can't read. It's a numbers thing. 5 to 10% of people with anorexia will die. 1 to 2% of people will die from suicide. That's because more people have depression and shit. Less people have anorexia. Sorry, I literally had to dumb this down for myself, not for any of you. Maybe for you. For me, only. Mainly, I'm stupid.
People just continue to tell on themselves in the comment section. They are mad as This comment is especially crazy to me because there are people still out there believing that blaming and shaming people for their weight and the way that they look is healthy. And then they come on here and go, well, I'm just concerned about your health and I'm just worried about you. Shut up. If you were so concerned about someone's health, you wouldn't be out here shaming them. To mention this guy.
Sometimes I feel like shaming is okay. Like clearly somebody who's very overweight knows they're overweight. I'm not saying look at this overweight person who's just enjoying their life and be like, you're fat. No, they know they're fat. But so you see those moms out there and they're kind of feeding their kids shitty and their kid is fat and the mom is fat. Like in my head, I'm not going to tell it to their face, but I will be shaming them and be like, you are a problem, right? And then there are brave people like JD Right Way, make fat shaming great again. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with calling people out on bullshit. I'm not okay with people bullying fat people, clearly. Like fat people who have their own Instagram that is just around like fashion and they're not showing what they eat. It's just fashion and they're, you know, or like crafts. They're just a crafter or they do crochet and they happen to live in a fat body. Okay, they probably know they're fat. They're not doing anything about it. It's not my place to tell them you're fat. They know they're fat. But it's the ones that are like,
this is what a fat girl eats 3,000 calories per meal.
And they're showing like their milkshakes or whatever. Okay, she knows that the comment section is going to be full of fat shaming, and I'm okay with that because you're a problem.
You're a problem. You're a real problem.
You're an influencer. You're a problem to me. And that's my opinion.
That's my opinion!
And I stand by it. Food is not medicine.
So somebody's comment, you're way too old to still be in your virtue signaling phase. Yeah, virtue signaling. That's what the word was earlier. You just want to feel all warm and fuzzy and appear to be progressive, empathetic, and tolerant. Enabling and encouraging destructive eating habits doesn't make you morally superior, believe it or not. Oh my God, Twit 1989, you fucking said it. Like, I definitely think that she is just, I can't even think of the word. Like, she's just reaching for people just to feel better about herself, I think.
Social determinants like poverty, racism, ableism, lack of education, lack of access to healthcare will all increase the risk of a person's health problems. And in many cases, medicine can immensely treat and manage these health issues. Diet and exercise is important, but it's not the only thing.
I agree with that. One of the toxic things about the carnivore diet is like people are, and I'm sorry if you're on the carnivore diet and you're watching this, but like one of the toxic things that I kind of like had to like step away from was they are against medication. A lot of people are, and the carnivore diet like heals everything, right? Not the case for me. Still have PCOS, still had Hashimoto's, still had crippling depression, right? So now I'm on the keto diet. I'm controlling my blood sugar that way, but I'm also on metformin and I'm still on my depression medication, Hala, Wellbutrin. Where are my Wellbutrin buddies? And what else am I on? Oh, my thyroid medication because mommy doesn't make T3. Mommy has antibodies and shit. Some days I feel fine. Some days not so much. And I don't think that the carnivore diet cures everything. I think that food is medicine, but it's like, it's okay if you need modern day medication. This is why we're thankful to live in 2025 and not in Jesus times, right? I got a brain injury from trauma. I can take medication to help me have a little bit of extra dopamine and feel like I want to be here on this planet. Is it causing me to be toxically positive? Maybe. Is that one of the side effects of Wellbutrin? Me don't know. So I did actually cut my dose in half. I'm not going to go over my doses, but I did cut it in half thanks I would say, to my diet. So I do believe that diet is medication. Like I do believe that being nutritionally healthy is important, and it actually can do so much for your mental health. I do. But sometimes you need a little pick me up, you know? We're not going to get into Wellbutrin, but it is wonderful. Okay, this is from a year ago still, and then we'll get closer.
You guys seeing all of these videos go insanely viral of men and women out on the beach in America in the 1970s and 1980s? Like, what happened? People all used to look like this.
What happened was seed oils and fast food and telling people to cut out fat and then just like increasing sugar in everything.
Generally speaking. And now you look at videos of people on the beach on vacation or walking around Disney World.
Keywords, generally speaking. Hate to break it to you, babe, but fat people have always existed and will.
Fat people have always existed, but not to the extent that they do now. Terrible. That's not always been the case.
Will always exist. And clips like this are nothing new. We have always seen these curated clips of people in an ideal body walking around doing their thing and acting like that's what people used to look like, and now everyone's fat. We then use that messaging to fearmonger our food system and people lacking physical activity, but then we don't look at the actual root cause of these things. It's not that people are lazy now, it's that we
Yes, it is.
have to work 40 plus hours a week to barely make a livable wage to just repeat that.
Okay, I get that. Less walkability. Like people used to walk more to like their jobs and stuff like that. And we don't work, like I work a very sedentary job. I don't move very much at all. Yeah, so I kind of get that.
That cycle over and over again every single week. We're exhausted. It's not that our food system has declined, but that's
Yes, it is. The food system has declined immensely.
social media has exploded over the years with so much misinformation because everyone thinks they're an expert because they eat food, have a body, and can Google. The whole narrative of we have an obesity epidemic on our hands.
Obesity epidemic? It is. It is legit. The obesity epidemic is very real.
Is misleading and harmful. I'm sure there's gonna be people in the comments going, oh my god, you're promoting obesity, you suck. One, not sorry that this triggered you. Two, you should unpack your weight bias and get clear on why you hate it so much when people who don't look like you are happy. Three, science has proven time and time again that weight and health are correlated, not causal of each other. And if you really cared about people's health, you wouldn't be.
This is why it's so hard to like trust any science out there, because she just said the science and research said that weight and health are correlated but not causation of each other, right? So like she's basically saying being overweight does not cause unhealth. Being overweight does not cause disease. However, other studies have determined that excess body fat on the body acts like another organ, basically. It's hormonally active. So having excess body fat on your body can increase specific sex hormones like estrogen and cause a lot of problems like PCOS and period problems and obviously more weight gain. So you're wrong.
Shaming and dehumanizing them for their body. You are not bad for desiring weight loss, but you're also not bad for not desiring weight loss. I mean, weight loss is so.
Okay, I can agree with that.
The obesity.
This is from December of last year.
The epidemic. I'm not concerned. Here's why. I'm Abbey, a weight-inclusive dietitian, bringing you the facts on science and nutrition. If you're interested, give me a follow. Epidemic refers to the often sudden increase in the number of cases of disease above what's normally expected in the population. Obesity refers to the BMI scale, which we know is flawed and was never meant to measure health.
Okay, but take away the BMI scale, there's still, like, if you took away obesity and BMI, there'd be another word for, like, fucking fat.
BMI was developed way back in the 1830s and has gone through multiple changes since.
She's just trying to change words. All right, this is from February of this year.
That food noise you're experiencing right now, the uncontrollable cravings, the can't stop thinking about food, nausea, stomach cramping, that's hunger. That's hunger, baby. You need to go eat something. Promise me you're gonna go get a meal, a snack, something in that belly, okay? You never ever have to earn food, and you are not a failure for being hungry.
I actually am pretty hungry right now, so thank you so much for giving me permission to eat.
Hi, besties. So this post got severely shouted.
Okay, so she has a website called Fork Diet Culture. And this, if you're just listening, diet culture is racist, how to dismantle it.
When I first posted it, so we're going to turn it into a reel. Diet culture is racist, and here's how to dismantle it. So it's no secret that it drains our mental, physical, financial, social, and environmental health. Maha influencers are always going to say, well, I care about your health, and then fearmonger everything under the sun. Because really what they're saying is they value thinness, whiteness, in bodies that look like theirs. Yet because the prevalence of diet culture is so strong, it makes it really difficult to assess how much harm.
I'm going to go back to that whole thing that she said about whiteness. Like, I don't think that anybody, when they're trying to, like, lose weight, is trying to embody whiteness. Obesity is not a culture. Am I stepping on toes here? Maybe, because I'm not black, I'm not Hispanic, but I am half brown. I'm half Filipino. Being black doesn't include being fat. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if I'm wording that correctly, but there's a lot of people who argue that like the BMI is racist because, and God, I have a video, I think, of me where I used to fucking say this shit, but like the BMI was only tested on like white men, so it's racist because Black women gain weight faster or gain weight in specific ways, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, no, because there's Black women who are skinny as hell. Just the same as there's fat white women and there's white women who are skinny as hell. Like being obese does not care what race you are. It's unhealthy regardless of what race you are. And I hope I worded that correctly because I don't want to offend anybody, but like obesity is not a part of your culture. It is not a part of, it shouldn't be a part of anybody's culture. And it's possible to reverse it. So be smart.
Harm it's doing to us. First, it prioritizes thinness above all else. Just pause and read here. Whiteness has always been centered in our society, and racism has really heavy roots in fat phobia, imposing fatness as the worst thing that someone could be. Again, please pause and read this paragraph.
Okay, over time, fatness became linked to racial inferiority and immorality in the US, and body size was used to differentiate slaves from free people with the assumption that fat people were undeserving of freedom. I'm not even going to get into this. We're going to switch. Oh my God. Body size was used to differentiate slaves from free people? Like, weren't the slaves like skinny? Am I ignorant? Maybe.
Diet culture whitewashes are.
These ideologies persist today as people attempt to prove their superiority through their discipline, willpower, and thinness. It's prevalent in the ways society views food. Foods associated with Black culture, Asian culture, and Latinx culture have consistently been stigmatized as inferior. That's actually true. Like, I know that a lot of people hate the way that like some Filipino food smells. I've known some Filipino friends that I've gone into their houses and it just like always smells like fish, which I think smells good, but some people are not into that, right? So I get it. But obesity is never healthy, regardless of your race.
I have a hot take for you. If you are someone who is able to access enough food to be obese,
ooh, this is a hot take,
or morbidly obese, you have privilege.
I agree. If you have the ability to like stay home and like sit and eat all day and you're eating junk, because I know that this lady is going to get into like, well, food, desert and stuff. No, I feel like if you have the ability to like get fucking fat, that is privilege. That's privilege.
No, that's probably a tough concept to like understand, but you have privilege, especially over people that can't even afford food.
We all have the same 24 hours in a day. You just don't have willpower. You need to try harder. That's literally the message that you're saying. Did you know that people can just exist in larger bodies without anyone commenting on it or judging the reason as to why they're in a larger body? And overeating isn't the only cause of weight gain. Antidepressants, corticosteroids, anti-epileptic, and some beta blockers.
I get what she's saying, like antidepressants, anti-beta blockers, blah, 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 blah. Those can cause weight gain. But they don't cause weight gain. They just make it harder for you to lose weight. And they make gaining weight easier. So like if you were eating less and you were on an antidepressant, you're not going to gain weight, right? Does that make sense? Like you shouldn't. You know, not everything, works out perfectly.
These are just some examples of medications that can cause weight gain. Also PCOS, Cushing syndrome, hypothyroidism, depression, cardiovascular disease.
I have PCOS and Hashimoto's. Yes, I gained a shit ton of weight, but I was also eating like an asshole. And when I stopped eating like an asshole, I lost the weight. It's not that, we can't give these people a little bit of grace. I get it. I get why, why you're fat, but I'm also looking at your plate like that is a lot of bread. Or that is a lot of sugar in your coffee in the morning. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, are just a few conditions that can cause weight gain. These examples aren't even scratching the surface of the social determinants of health.
I don't think that these conditions, like, the thing is that, like, if you were to sit like this, if you were to sit like this and you're like, I have PCOS, your PCOS does not immediately just like add fat to your body. You have to eat the food that is stored as fat. It's not that they cause fat to accumulate on your body. They make it easier for fat to accumulate on your body, and you have to eat the foods that counteract or prevent that.
Health and body size are so complex, and you cannot know a single thing about a person's health just by looking at them. Not even mentioning the weight stigma that is rampant in our society. So tell me this. Is lacking access to equitable healthcare, experiencing fewer promotions, extreme dieting and disorders in order to cope with the world around them, or lacking accessible seating that can fit the width and weight of your body. Does that sound like privilege? I don't think so either.
No, but like it's a spectrum. So like if you don't have to, if you just sit and eat all the time, or you constantly get DoorDash, right? That's privilege. I think everybody's fucking privileged. We live in the most privileged country on the planet. If you're in the United States, you are, regardless, you have some sort of privilege, right? If you're fat in the United States, baby, you're privileged.
So maybe before we make really widespread generic claims on the internet, we do a little research. We actually talk to.
I kind of hate her. Like, I think that she smells her own farts. Like, I think that she is smug as fuck. And I don't like her. All right. So do I have anything like recent from her? Okay. So this is the most recent thing. So again, she started like with, movement, eating healthy, body neutrality. Now she's basically like pandering. That's the word I've been looking for this entire episode. Pandering to the fats, right? And let's see. She has brought up, this is her most recent post on her page. She has brought up the unhealthy mom. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. When you see it, you'll know. Okay, so fork diet culture. It's time to check our own biases at the door. Would you feel differently if these moms were in different bodies? Does eating clean, whatever that means, ingredient foods trump a healthy relationship with food? Why do you think the comment sections are so widely different? Okay, so see, it's that chick. What's her name? Alexandra Sable. Cook a breakfast with me as a single mom of 3.
You just use biscuits.
First of all, she's kind of a shitty mom. Like, if you, there are some people in the realm that have done deep dives on her, and she's like so shitty to her kids. If there was an episode that, or like a reel or whatever on TikTok that she posted where her son was like, "Can I please sleep in the room with you because he doesn't have an air conditioner in his room," or he wanted to sleep in the living room or something like that. And she was like, "No, like, don't you love your kids? I'm so sorry. I don't have any kids, so I don't know if that's normal for you to be like, no, sorry, go sweat in your room like a fucking animal, but." Okay, so here's what I think is the problem. Obviously, she's probably cooking with canola oil, which I haven't had canola oil in my house in years. And she made biscuit donuts, which I used to make those all the time, and they're bomb, and I fucking love them. But maybe not the best choice. I don't think so. As a sweet treat every once in a while, maybe on the weekends, sure.
All right, now watch this video.
Okay, I don't know what a Cheez-It is. Oh, you're so stupid, bitch. Okay, so she's choosing extremes on both spectrums. So she's choosing like the world's unhealthiest mom making biscuit donuts for her kid, and then she's choosing what looks like one of those fake health aesthetic moms. Let's see what she has to say.
Know what a Cheez-It tastes like because I've shielded them from ultra-processed snacks that lead
Oh, she said her kids don't know what a Cheez-It tastes like. And she's fucking grinding her own grain.
to an altered gut microbiome and consequently negative health conditions and behavioral issues.
Guess which one has the worst comment section? And we still think that anti-fat bias.
You picked spectrums. You picked the most extreme on each side. This is not a good argument. Obviously, the fat mom who's feeding shit to her kid is going to get worse comments. But also, even if she picked somebody that was in the center who was feeding her kid cereal, the fat mom would still get the worst comments because she treats her kids like shit and she's fat. So maybe you're right. Anyway, you guys, this episode went a lot longer than I intended. I am going to get ready for work now. I'm going to try and post this weekend and then do another video because I'm going to Ireland next weekend and I want to make sure that I post a nice spooky Halloween video for you guys. And yeah, so I hope you liked my rant this time. I hate when people who have never been obese, maybe she has and she didn't share any pictures, but I hate when people who have never been obese in their entire lives try to join the HAES and the body positive movement and the anti-diet movement and the fat positive movement when it's like you've never been fat. You don't even know what that feels like. The only reason why you're doing this is because you make money off of feeding people. You make money off of feeding people. You are pandering to fat people because they will pay you to tell them it's okay to eat whatever the fuck they want. And they can tell people, probably, my dietitian says this is fine. That's what you do, Abby. And I don't like you. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about Abby. What is your opinion on skinny people who tell fat people it's okay? And if you don't want to comment, leave an emoji. We're gonna go with a floral theme. Leave a floral theme emoji. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so that you know when I post next. I do want to try and do like bi-weekly or weekly. Again, I'm gonna try and make sure that I post next week, so keep that notification bell going. I don't know if that's the word. I'm an idiot. So thank you so much for following me if you do, and subscribing and commenting. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Goodbye.